Hello and welcome back to Most Infamous. Today we bring you the top 10 richest drug barons. Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, a notorious Mexican drug lord, amassed his wealth through his leadership of the Sinaloa cartel. Operating from the late 20th century to his eventual arrest in 2016, he built a vast drug trafficking empire, smuggling immense quantities of narcotics into the United States. His wealth was derived from the illegal drug trade, exploiting intricate smuggling networks and evading law enforcement for years. Carlos later, a co-founder of the Medellin cartel, gained his wealth through the illicit drug trade in the late 20th century. He was a key figure in establishing efficient smuggling routes, especially via his private island Norman's Cay. Later's involvement in cocaine trafficking allowed him to amass significant wealth before his arrest, marking him as a prominent figure in the cartel's operations. The Ochoa Brothers, Gilberto and Miguel Rodriguez, were kingpins behind the Cali cartel. Operating during the late 20th century, they accrued immense wealth through the cocaine trade. They adopted a more sophisticated approach, focusing on blending into legitimate business fronts while maintaining control over their drug operations. Their strategic methods and expansive network allowed them to accumulate substantial riches until their eventual downfall and arrest. Kun Saw, born Chang Chi-Fu, was a prominent figure in the drug trade in the Golden Triangle region. He established his own organization, the Shan United Army, and controlled a significant portion of the opium and heroin trade during the late 20th century. Kun Saw's wealth stemmed from his domination of drug production and trafficking routes, exploiting the remote geography of the region. Despite his criminal activities, he was seen as a hero by some due to his efforts in Shan nationalist movements. Jose Rodriguez Gacha, often known as El Mexicano, was a key figure in the infamous Medellin cartel alongside Pablo Escobar. Operating during the late 20th century, he amassed wealth through the cocaine trade, contributing to the cartel's rise to power. Gacha controlled numerous drug trafficking routes and was involved in various criminal activities, which led to his significant financial gains before his death in a 1989 police shootout. The Ochoa Brothers, Juan David, Jorge Luis, and Fabio, were prominent members of the Medellin cartel in the late 20th century. They accumulated wealth through their involvement in the cocaine trade. They played crucial roles in the cartel's operations, managing drug production, trafficking, and distribution. The Ochoa Brothers' influence extended to legitimate business fronts, allowing them to amass substantial wealth before surrendering to authorities and facing legal consequences. Dawood Ibrahim, a notorious figure in organized crime, accumulated his wealth through a combination of illegal activities. Operating primarily in India, he gained prominence through criminal enterprises, including smuggling, extortion, and drug trafficking. His involvement in the 1993 Bombay bombings marked a significant turning point, further solidifying his criminal empire. Dawood's network and illicit operations enabled him to amass substantial wealth before going into hiding, with his exact net worth being a subject of speculation. Semyon Mogilevich, a notorious Russian mobster, amassed his wealth through a complex web of criminal activities. Operating internationally, he was involved in fraud, money laundering, arms trafficking, drugs trafficking, and organized crime. His organization's activities extended into legitimate businesses as well. Mogilevich's ability to exploit the chaotic post-Soviet landscape and establish vast networks allowed him to accumulate significant wealth, making him one of the most influential and wealthy criminal figures in the world. Amado Carrillo Fuentes, known as the Lord of the Skies, was a Mexican drug lord who rose to prominence in the 1990s. He accumulated his wealth through his leadership of the Juarez cartel, focusing on the trafficking of cocaine into the United States. Carrillo Fuentes is known for his innovative smuggling methods, including using a fleet of aircraft to transport drugs. His control over key drug routes and distribution networks enabled him to amass significant wealth before his death during plastic surgery in 1997. Pablo Escobar, one of history's most infamous drug lords, accumulated his immense wealth primarily through his leadership of the Medellin cartel. Operating in the late 20th century, he dominated the cocaine trade, establishing a sprawling criminal empire. Escobar's strategies included massive drug production, innovative smuggling routes, and ruthless enforcement. His control over the global cocaine market allowed him to amass an estimated net worth of billions. But his violent tactics and criminal activities brought widespread chaos and ultimately led to his death in 1993. Thank you for watching the Top 10 Richest Drug Barons. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the most infamous